understand that you're uninformed, you don't know much about it, but you're excited, right? This is what they also like to call the honeymoon stage, right? At the beginning of anything that you start that's brand new, when you start that new business, when you launch that new store, when you get into that new network of people, you're super excited. You're extremely excited. It's when you start that new job, you're excited about the new job, you're excited about the new business, you're excited to start something new. You are uninformed, but you are optimistic. Okay, which means you're hopeful that all that's going to work in your favor. And you see, for all of us that's listening to this, you guys all know when you started that business, think about it. How excited were you? You were excited to get the business started. You saw yourself being on stage, you saw yourself making money, you saw yourself, creating success stories, not only for yourself but for other people around you. But you were just really, if you think about it, you were uninformed though, because you were just excited about what the vision was, what can happen for you. So the first emotion that we usually all experience in the journey is uninformed optimism, which means we don't know what's about to happen, but we're excited about the future. We're excited about going out there and making money. We're excited to go out there and climb up the ranks and be able to have those successful crypto portfolios and, be able to go out there and just do amazing things, right? We're just excited about it. And that's okay for all of us. We all experience this emotion. So that's the first cycle that you go through when you start your entrepreneurship, which is uninformed optimism. Now you follow up to the second cycle of business, the second emotional cycle, which is informed pessimism. Informed pessimism. Now, what is pessimism? Pessimism is when you think negative of something. It's when you start to lack hope and you start to, lose your confidence in what can happen for you in the future. Now, what happens is when you join the journey, it's all excited. You're in that honeymoon stage. You love everything about it. You have this vision. You're hyped. The motivation is at an all-time high. You're speaking highly about the business. Everything feels good. That's the first cycle. But then when you go through the second cycle, which is informed pessimism, you start to realize that the business is actually not as easy as you thought it was going to be. You start to realize that this is actually going to be a challenge, that it's actually going to take time, that it's not a walk in the park how you thought it was going to be. You're going to have to make those phone calls. You're going to have to read those books. You're going to have to invest a lot of time, energy, and money back into it. It's not as easy as you thought. And you start to second guess yourself. You start to wonder, like, hey, can I do this? Can I dedicate this much time to this business? For my people in sales, think about it. You talk to, you start to attract situations, people, and circumstances to keep you there. Because guess what now? People are going to start to doubt you. People are going to start to not believe in you. Okay. You're going to start to get a lot of rejection. It's going to be hard to show up on calls. It's going to be hard to show up to your business because you're pessimistic. You're in a bad state of mind. And you've allowed the fact that you realize that it's going to be harder than it is to get the best of you. It takes time now to overcome that. And what ends up happening is you dig yourself a hole into what the third emotional cycle of business and entrepreneurship is, which is called the valley of despair. The third emotional cycle of entrepreneurship is called the valley of despair. Now, what is despair, Nano? Explain to me what the valley of despair is. Despair, by definition, is the complete loss or absence of hope. This is what happens. People get to the valley of despair because they've lost complete hope of what can happen for them in the future. Remember, when you started emotional cycle number one, You were uninformed optimistic, which means you had hopefulness and confidence in the future. When you started, you wanted to run it up. You wanted to get to the top of the business. You wanted to make all this money. You wanted to retire your family. You wanted to move out of your parents' house. You were optimistic about it. Then you go to informed pessimism. You start to realize that it's harder than it is. And you stay there long enough. And eventually, what ends up happening, you get to the valley of despair and you lose complete hope that anything can happen for you. And this is where fear is at an all-time high. You're angry, all right? You don't know what the next step in your life is going to be. Okay? Your desire decreases, your production decreases, you stop showing up to the trainings, to the calls, you stop going to the events, you stop trading, you stop doing whatever it is that you're doing. You stop doing it. And what ends up happening is, here are the numbers. 97% of people quit at the valley of despair. 97%. So that means out of 100 people that go through the valley of despair, 97 of them quit at the valley because it gets hard down there. Think about it. You just dug yourself into a deep hole. This hole is filled with negativity, with doubt, with fear, with insecurities. And if you look up the emotional guidance scale, the lowest vibration that you could ever feel is fear, doubt, insecurity, greed. Like, these are the feelings that you're feeling when you're at the valley of despair. And what ends up happening, guys, look, let's be honest. You start to get distracted by other opportunities. There's something called SOS, shiny object syndrome. Then the next shiny object comes around. But remember, not everything that glitters is gold. All right, guys, let's get this call started. We're going to be going live here, and we are live on Instagram now. Let me just set this up right here like this. Let's open up YouTube, and there we are. Grand Rising Familia, happy Monday. I am so excited to be on this call with all of you guys here today. It's a little bit bittersweet, but it's definitely going to be a great call nonetheless. So happy, so blessed, guys. Welcome back to Mornings with Nano. Usually we don't do a Mornings with Nano call on YouTube on Mondays, but I'm going to be announcing some news here for all of you guys so that you guys are aware of what's happening, what's going on. But before we do so, it is Monday morning. It is April 28th. How is everybody feeling this morning? In one word, describe how everyone is feeling this morning. I just kind of want to get everybody on this call. Share this with somebody. Share this with a friend, a family member, anyone who's not here. Make sure that the word is out. I got my coffee, so we're ready. I even got a training for us today. So I see we got people feeling inspired, blessed, grateful. Yes, Epic Talks. Let's go. I'm excited for Epic Talks this Wednesday. It's going to be a great Epic Talks. If you guys are in Miami, by the way, and you guys want to go to an incredible event on how to get paid to speak, and you're here in Miami, let me know, because there's a huge event that I'm going to be a part of as well this Wednesday, which I'm sure you guys have seen on my stories. But I'm excited for that. High vibrations today, Nano. Yes, yes, yes. Hopeful, aligned, excited for what's new, ready for new chapters, defeated, but working on it. I appreciate that, Brianna. Appreciate the vulnerability, blissfully dissatisfied. Love that, Ricardo. Love that for you, bro. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, guys. So let's get started with today's call. I want to get right into it. Honestly, I want to address the elephant in the room really, really fast. Just kind of get right into it. We have just finished closing a chapter in our lives. I think it's important that before I go into all the details, I want to let you guys know that I am in a really good place. I'm at peace. I have joy that makes no sense. My heart is truly full of gratitude for the situation and everything that's happening right now in my life. But I think it's important that I give you guys a little bit of history and why a chapter has closed in my life and everything that's happening. I wanted you guys to hear more from me before you guys see the Instagram post, before you see anything. I want you guys to hear directly from me because you guys are my family and I'm always grateful for this. So, as you guys know, Mornings with Nano started June 20th of 2019. So I was doing Mornings with Nano since 2019. Still to this day, I still do these calls. These calls will never stop. And for a couple of years, I did these calls for free. I did these calls absolutely for free. They were available 5 days a week on Zoom for the family, and these calls grew. They got very big. I went from just having a couple of hundred people on the call to thousands of people. We had some of the biggest special guests in the world jump on my calls, like Bob Proctor, and I have my sister Jasmine who's on this call with me. She came to me with the idea of, yo, all these calls that you're doing on Zoom, we could start a podcast with this. And she started coming over to my house in New York. She would sit at my mom's house and she would put a mic in front of me and she would be like, all these trainings that you're doing on Zoom, here, speak it into this mic. And she would take these trainings and then she would post them on Spotify and iTunes and Amazon Music and iHeartRadio. And next thing you know, these things became these huge podcasts. And we ended up being top 100 in the US and Europe and all over the world. And it really did blow up. And I got to give Jasmine a lot of credit and love for that because, my podcast would have never become global if it wasn't for her help and her servitude. So thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate you. But long story short, guys, after my podcast blew up, as you guys know, I'm a network marketer. I've been learning how to trade. I've been learning how to invest. I've been learning how to build digital businesses. And within the platform that I was partnered with, they decided to start a personal development side. They started to open up a mindset and personal development education side of things. And when it came to it was first opened up by Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor, if you guys don't know who he is one of the top motivational mindset leadership experts in the world. He is no longer with us. He passed away, I think, about 3 years now. And we partnered with him as our platform first, and he ended up passing away like a year later. So when he passed away, they needed somebody to come in and fill in those shoes to basically keep the mindset section going. And that's kind of where my role came in. I was the guy that had been doing the Mornings with Nano calls every single day, 5 days a week. Rain or shine, we had thousands of people on the call. So I kind of became that kid that had been consistent all those years for about 3 years before I became an educator for the platform. And they were looking for a candidate. Yo, who can we bring in to fill in those shoes? And I became that candidate. And they brought me in. They made me the founder of our personal development platform, also known as MMX, which was Mindset Mentor. And I've been an educator for this platform now for 3 years. And it's been the best time ever. Usually I was doing the calls Monday through Friday for free. But once I partnered with this $1 billion platform, I took 3 of my calls and I put them exclusively in the platform's live sessions. So in order for you to have access to me, you had to be a paid subscriber of this platform. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I was doing them privately for a small group of anywhere from 70 to 100 people, which would hop on those calls. And then I would do them for free on YouTube Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's why I only did YouTube and Instagram Tuesdays and Thursdays, because obviously I was doing paid Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the platform that I got hired from. And then I was doing them on YouTube Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I was doing that for the last, I would say, close to 3 years, I would say now, because in June it'll be 6 years. And I kind of got hired halfway through that. So I would give it about 2.5, 3 years since, I've been an educator for the platform. And just recently, we decided that we are no longer going to be a part of this platform that we're partnered with. It's been a tough decision. It's been a very, very hard decision for all of us, especially for all of us included. I have nothing bad to say about anybody. I love this company. I want you guys to know that I wouldn't be the man that I am today. First, I give all the glory and all the credit and all the praise to God first, because without God, I wouldn't be who I am today. But I got to tell you guys right now, if it wasn't for the company that I was partnered with, okay, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today. I want you guys to know that there's nothing but love and gratitude and just an incredible amount of respect for it, because man, let me tell you guys, it felt like, it feels like your first home. It's just like, it's crazy to think about it, that it's come to this. But I want you guys to know that the decision was made with God at the center. We prayed on it, we talked about it, we exhausted every single option, and when it came down to it, we finally made a decision that this is no longer a place for us, not just to win, but for our people to win. And the environment is something that's very important, and the environment wasn't there. There was a lot of things that just weren't being delivered, and the execution of it, and it's extremely bittersweet for me, because I know that I could go to sleep at night knowing that I did everything I could possibly as an individual to do our best to keep it open as long as we could, to be here as long as we could. But unfortunately, it can't just be my belief and my faith and my desire and my love and my thing is not enough. Like, my desire and my love and my faith wasn't enough. It had to be a collective. And unfortunately, I can't control other people's actions and other people's desires and wants and faith. And so, with careful consideration and with everything, I decided to resign as an educator. I'm no longer going to be an educator for this platform, which means for the next couple of weeks, I will be live on YouTube 5 days a week, and on Instagram. I'll be live 5 days a week now. We're going to start elevating this community as well. And whenever I do decide to partner with another platform, that's if I do. I'm not sure if it's something that I'm still 100% confident in that I want to do. I'm thinking about just kind of keeping this and our family together. Then I'll let you guys know. But I just wanted you guys to know personally from me before anybody else told you guys. If you are obviously a part of the platform and you were there for me, I would say cancel your subscription, and then we can talk about it on whenever I decide to kind of start my thing here on how it is that you guys can partner with me. But like I said, everything was done from a place of love, gratitude. We are very happy with the decision that we made, and it's just amazing to see the support, the love. And I just wanted you guys to know from me that I gave it everything. And I want to look at all of you guys in your eyes, and I wanted you guys to see it straight from me that I gave it everything. I gave everything that I could. I exhausted every single option. I made sure that everything I did was done from a place of faith and love and respect, and not from a place of fear, doubt, and insecurity. And when it all came down to it, the signs were all there, and it was it. So this week, you guys are going to be seeing me making some new decisions, closing some chapters, and leaving some old things behind that no longer are going to be a part of my life. And I wanted you guys, like I said, to hear it from me. I don't want you guys to see it on a YouTube. I'm sorry, I didn't want you guys to see it on a story. I don't want you guys to see it on a post. I want you guys to hear it directly from me. I know not everybody's going to be able to hear it, but I am no longer, okay, an educator for the platform that I was a part of, and I will no longer be a leader in that platform as well. I'm going to be taking my talents, and I'm going to be taking my services to another educational platform. We're going to be launching that on 5/5/25. 5/5/25 is the day that we launch. So you guys will know everything that's happening in my life from there moving forward. And I just got, and like I said, I just wanted you guys to hear it here first. So if you guys want to know more about what's going to be happening. That's going to be on 5/5/25. So not this Monday, but next Monday. Cinco de Mayo is when I will be announcing my next move. But as of now, I just want you guys to know there is nothing but love, gratitude, and so many amazing things that are about to happen. I held on for very long. I held on for very, very, very long. And God was telling me, give me the teddy bear, give me the little small teddy bear. Like that's where I was. And basically, God has this huge teddy bear behind his back, and he's saying, give me the teddy bear, Nano. Give it to me. You have to let it go. I know you're emotionally attached to it. I know this is where it all started. I know for a fact that you don't want to let this go, but you need to trust. And for months and for months and for months, I held on to it and I said, no, God. And for months, and he showed me signs, and I kept holding on and I kept holding on. And then eventually I had to make a decision to just let go. I just had to let go. I want you guys to know that I've been holding on for months, potentially even, I could even say, truthfully, if we call it what it is, I've been holding on for years. And it's gotten to the point where you can't really hold on anymore. All right. And God told me to let it go. I had to trust and let it go. And that's exactly why we're here today. Like I said again, nothing changes in terms of this community. We stay together. I'm so blessed and so honored that we've been able to come together, and we're a family regardless. Now the beautiful thing is you guys get me 5 days a week instead of twice a week. And I'm going to be doing these calls 5 days a week regardless. Whenever we do start something private, obviously it will be launched on these calls, and something will be started private, whether I decide to partner with a platform or whether I decide to kind of do my own thing. There will be something that will come from this. But in the meantime, over the next couple of weeks, as I'm going through my launch and as I'm launching everything brand new, these calls will be free for 5 days a week. I'm going to be doing these calls every day, 5 days a week. Just really quick question. I just want to kind of get a glimpse. Would you guys rather me start at 10 a.m. or would you guys me start at 10:30? What would you guys prefer? 10 a.m. or 10:30? Let me know in the chat. Well, let me kind of see what would work better for everybody. Because I know that I usually do 10:30 here, but would you guys rather 10 a.m., 10:30? I was thinking about just starting at 10 a.m. in my opinion. That way so that we could be done at the hour. But if I know 10:30 might be better for all of you guys as well. So what I'll do is I'll probably open the call at 10, and by 10:15 I'll start the call. So probably like 10 o'clock, and then give people to like 10:15-ish. And then that way I could go for a solid 45 minutes. And then by 11, we should be out of there. Yeah, because I know we have other calls that happen as well. The OG mornings when no time was 9 a.m. Back then, we used to do it at 9 a.m. But yeah, let's do 10 a.m. I'm gonna commit to 10 a.m. starting tomorrow right away, and then we'll get into it in 10:15. And obviously, guys, all the recordings are gonna be there. I'm gonna also get a new template for the mornings when I'm gonna change everything up. But yeah, guys, I just wanted you guys to know that I just closed a chapter in my life, and I wanted you guys to hear it straight from me before you heard it from anybody else. Mornings with Nano will always stay. Mornings with Nano is not a chapter closed. Mornings with Nano is just, I'm no longer going to be partnered with the platform that I once did Mornings with Nano with, So now is going to be this, and we're going to scale this. And Mornings with Nano is like I've always planned, and I've always set it out. It's going to be bigger than any one of us could imagine. We're going to do tours. There's going to be retreats that happen. There's going to be more merch that comes from this, and there's going to be so many amazing things that happen. So this chapter stays the same for us in terms of Mornings with Nano. I'm just no longer an educator. For those who were wondering, I am no longer an educator with the platform that I was once partnered with. And like I said, I have nothing bad to say, nothing but love and gratitude for exactly it is that platform did for me. And I will be texting a lot of people personally to make sure that they know, but I'm excited for this. So I have a training for us as well, which is called When a Chapter Closes. When a chapter closes. And I think that a lot of us can relate to this because we all have different chapters that we have in our lives. And I want to make sure that you guys know that this chapter is closed for me, but that just means that we get to start a new chapter and I'm the author in it. And a lot of you have chapters in your life that you may be just like me, that you may be holding on to that teddy bear for too long and you're scared to let it go. And I'm here to tell you guys that when a chapter closes, another one opens up. And that new chapter that I'm going to be opening up is going to be on 5/5/25. Can I get a 5/5/25 in the chat, please? I just want to know, can I get a 5/5/25? Because I want you guys to see my new chapter. Whether you decide to be a part of it or not, I want you guys to see what new chapter I'm going to be stepping into in my life on 5/5/25. So I want you guys to save that date. Obviously, we'll be on a call that morning, but that's going to be the day that, I launch my new chapter and all of you guys are going to be extremely aware of it. So I officially close my chapter today, April 28th. It's a Monday, and we're going to be opening a new one on 5/5/25. But let's talk about when a chapter closes, all right? Because listen to me. In life and in business, we all experience moments when a season, a relationship, an opportunity comes to an end. All right. And instead of resisting and learning how to embrace these transitions, all right, I want to show you guys how you can use this for growth and for momentum. So I have a 3-point training on how to handle yourself when a chapter closes. All right. Because we all going to have chapters that close in our lives. You're going to have relationships that end. You're going to have seasons that end. You're going to have businesses, opportunities. There's always going to be something that ends. And for a lot of us, including myself, and I know a lot of you guys on this call, some of you guys are closing chapters. And you're either one of 3 people on today's call. You're either closing a chapter, number 1. Number 2, you've closed a chapter in the past. Or number 3, you're going to close a chapter in the future. You're one of 3 people on today's call. You're either me, which is number 1, I'm closing a chapter in my life right now. You're either 2, you just finished closing a chapter. Or number 3, you're going to close a chapter in the future. So I'm going to teach you guys the 3 things to do when a chapter closes. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about number 1. What's the first thing you should do when a chapter closes? Number 1 is you got to honor what was. Honor what was. You got to remember, every chapter serves a purpose. Every chapter in your life. So for me, this chapter served its purpose. I learned lessons, skills were developed, and memories were made. So I got to honor what was. So whenever a chapter closes in your life, I want you to remember, honor what was. What lessons were learned, what skills were developed, what memories were made. Because this is the amazing time for you to focus on the positive. All right. Because I remember what Bob Proctor taught me. He said, Nano, when anything happens in your life, do these 3 things. He said, number 1, remind yourself that it is what it is. It is what it is. It has come to this. And if it's happening, it's because God wanted it to happen this way. This is not up to me. I tried to control this so much to the point where I couldn't even control it that much anymore. So I have to make sure that I let it go and let God do what he had to do. Because I was trying to control the narrative. I was trying to control the story. I was trying to control when the chapter closed. But I had to realize that it was no longer up to me. I had to give it up to God. So number 1, it is what it is. That's what Bob Proctor told me. He said, number 2, harvest the good. What was the good that I got out of the chapter? I can tell you guys right now, I've gotten so much good. I don't even have nothing negative to say. That's the craziest part. I don't have nothing negative to say because there is nothing negative about it. All right. The only thing negative about it is that I wish we could have turned it around. I wish we could have done more. But outside of that, there's nothing but positives. Look at the man I've become. Look at the people that we've been able to help. Look at the skills we developed. Look at all the great things that came from it. I learned how to trade. I learned how to invest. I learned how to build my brand. I started my own brand. Okay. I traveled to over 26 different countries. I've met some of the most amazing people that are now life partners of mine. Like some of my best friends in the world are I met through this in this chapter. Like I can't even think about I can't it's crazy to even think about that. Some of my best friends in the whole entire world, people that'll be at my weddings and people that'll be at my baby showers and people that, will be 80 years old sitting in Lake Como, relaxing, having the best wines in the world, were people that I met through this business. It's still wild to even think about those things. So there's so much good that came from this, so much positive that came from this. So I always tell people, harvest the good, harvest the good. It's sometimes so easy for us to focus on the negatives, on the things that didn't happen, but let's focus on the things that did happen, the positive things that were here for us. And that's what I did. And then point number 3 is forgive and let go of the rest. Forgive and let go of the rest. I have to forgive the fact that, hey, it didn't happen the way that we wanted it to. Remember, they say this: you don't get your heart broken, you get your expectations broken. And I didn't get my heart broken. I think I just got more of a little bit of my expectations broken. I think I set very high expectations for what I believed we could do. And those expectations weren't met. So I didn't get my heart broken. I got my expectations broken. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now. And I know that that's the same situation for individuals like Tia, for my sister Mina, who's been checking in on me, my sister Amber, who's on here, Femi, Jayana, Eunice, Luz, David. There's so many of you on this call that I see. And that's the reality of it. And we forgive and we let go of the rest. It is what it is. I've learned to just let go. If it's meant to be, it's up to God at this point. So when a chapter closes, honor it. Honor what was. I've taken time to reflect and thank. I've already started sending thank you messages to people that I love and respect and letting them know, like, hey, we tried everything. It is what it is. I'm thankful for the experience that it gave me, even if it ended bittersweet. Closure comes with gratitude. I don't have no resentment. All right. I have no resentment. And I could tell you guys, I shed some tears when the decision was made. But I didn't cry because it was over. I smiled because it happened. I was just happy, but I cried because it was something that I needed to let out. It was hard for me in the beginning, because when you hold on to something for so long and you want something to change for so long, but you did everything and it was out of your control, you kind of shed tears for it. Because at the end of the day, it's not just me that's in this. I have hundreds and thousands of people counting on me as well. So the pressure of everyone else's situation is on me as well. So exactly, Cheryl, I needed that release. I needed to let it out. I remember crying on my sister's shoulder, Tia's shoulder. I remember crying with Amber and Melanie, and crying with my brother Zion as well, and my brother Ron as well, Alex. We shed a couple of tears together, but it was tears of just love and gratitude, and just letting them know, like, yo, I'm still here. We're nothing's happened. It's just, we gotta move on. And we honored what was, and we're grateful. And that's with any chapter in our lives, right, guys? This is like, you guys are going through this chapter closing with me now, but this has to do with any chapter that you close in your life. We have over 150 plus people on today's call. And that's exactly what's happening. So a quote that I always, mention is, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And I'm happy that it happened. Like, now that I've accepted it and I've honored it and I was able to release it, I smile because it happened. And I want you guys to understand that when it comes to closing a chapter in your life, just smile because it happened, because everything that is happening in your life is happening to you. I mean, it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. So everything that's happening right now is happening for me. Okay. I just ask that you guys keep me in your prayers. Keep me in your prayers. Send nothing but love and, guidance and anything that you guys feel like is required from me, obviously. But we're here and we're solid, and God is leading the way for all of us. And I'm actually blessed. So number one is honor what was. Number two is accept what is. Fighting the reality only creates suffering. Growth begins with acceptance. I want you guys to write that down. Growth begins with acceptance. If you're on this call today, I want you to know, like, hey, if you're on this call with me and you're gonna make the shift with me, don't fight the reality, because the reality is it's over. All right. And that's only gonna create suffering. Growth begins when you accept what is. And it is what it is. We're here. We're going to ride together. We're going to continue to grow together. We're going to continue to do whatever it takes to continue to be the best versions of ourselves. And that's what it is. You got to acknowledge that the chapter is complete. That's it. We close this book. Boom. Chapter closed. We finish this book. Now it's time for us to start a new book. That's how it is. And understand, guys, it's not about failure or a loss. It's about recognizing that your role in this specific chapter is finished. That's what I've had to understand. Because, back then I would look at people that would leave, or back then I would look at people that had to close chapters as if they're quitters, or as if they folded, or whatever it is. And maybe in their circumstances, maybe they did because they didn't exhaust every option. But I could tell you guys right now, the people that are still here with me, we tried everything we could. We exhausted every option and we did everything we could. So for us, it's not a quitting, it's not a failure, it's a pivot. It's just a pivot. And in business, there's a lot of people in a lot of different businesses that we just got to pivot. We did everything we could. We believed until we couldn't anymore. We had faith until we didn't have faith anymore. And it was just time for us to make a pivot. And that's exactly what we did. We made a pivot, and we're just grateful that everything worked out in our favor. And we're so happy that everything is happening the way that it is. So accept what is. That's all I'm saying. Accept what is. Acknowledge that the chapter is complete. So if you're on this call, just acknowledge that the chapter is complete. We close, and whether that chapter for you was 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, everybody's chapter is going to be different, right? My chapter was almost 8 years. That book was 8 years. I was writing that book for 8 years. We just finished closing it. And now I get to start a new one. And I get to start a new one with newer people, newer opportunities, newer everything, and newer horizons, newer goals, and everything. And time to fly with the fish and swim with the birds. That's facts. So that's what this is about. And instead of asking why did this end, start asking what is this making room for? That's a good one right there. Instead of asking why did this end, start asking what is this making room for? And that's what I've been asking myself. I'm like, man, God, what are you making room for? What is God making room for? The beauty is in the details, right? What are you making room for, God? I want to know. I want to know what God is making room for in my life. Because, man, for him to close the chapter and finish this book, now I want to know, because now I get to start a brand new book, but this time I have experience. I think that's what I'm the most. John 13:7, one of my favorite. You may not understand what I'm doing now, but later you will. And that's literally how I feel right now. John 13:7. I don't really understand. I don't really understand it, to be real. But I know something greater is in the horizon and in the future. And it's just so dope because now I'm looking at this book. I'm holding on to this book in my hand, and it's a blank book. But I'm the author, but I have 8 years of experience now. I have all these skills. I have all this knowledge. I have all these amazing people by my side. I have the strongest team in the world. I have the most loyal and most character leaders in the world. Like, I think about this and I'm like, wow, God, like, this is how you positioned me now. We have God at the center. We have a blank book to write now. I have the best leaders, the best team by our side. We have all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the skills, all the trainings. We have the best platform. We have the best mentors. We have everything in place now to go out there and do the unthinkable with a brand new blank book. That now we can take this book, we can hold it to our heart. We can say, thank you for all the lessons. Thank you for everything that you've done for us. But it's time for me to put this book down, put it on the bookshelf. That's something that we'll read later. And now it's time to open up this new book. And I've accepted it. And like I said, 5/5/25, you guys will see what our new book is, what the new chapter is, what the new mentor is, and what everything is that's going to happen. And I'm extremely grateful that I get a chance to share this with all of you guys. So number 2 is accept what is. Accept it. All right, because that's what it's all about. So like I said, don't ask why did this end. Start asking what is this making room for. And like I said, guys, remember, this is the same for all things in our lives. This could be for a relationship. This could be for a business opportunity. This could be for a job that closes. Remember, when a chapter ends, accept it for what it is. I've had to do this in relationships. I was the one asking, man, why did this end? But then when I started to realize, God was just making room for more. That's all it was. When my baseball career came to an end back in 2020, 2017, I was sad. God, why did this end? But he was making room for more. So anything that's happening in your life right now that is ending, I just want you to know that God is making room for more. And in reality, you know what's the funniest part? Everybody here can decide to close a chapter in their life right now. It don't have to be a business. It don't have to be an opportunity. It don't have to be a relationship. But you know what it could be? It could be you closing a chapter on who you were. The old version of you that you're sick and tired of, those old habits, those old ways of thinking, all of that old life that you've been living that's been holding you back for so long. You can take this time to shift. You can make the decision to shift, just like I'm shifting, and leave your old life behind and step into your new life. That's a chapter right there. Some of us have been holding on to that old life for so long, those old habits, those old friends, those old relationships, those old things that are no longer here for us. And for a lot of us, we need to step into a new chapter with the new version of ourselves. So keep that in mind, because number 2 is accept what is. And then last but not least, point number 3 is prepare for what's next. So we said number 1, honor what was. Number 2, accept what is. Number 3, prepare for what's next. Prepare for what's next. And a closed chapter is a setup for a new and greater beginning. But you got to stay open and ready. I have new goals now. I'm ready for new relationships with new business partners. I'm ready for new dreams. I'm ready for this new season in my life. And I'm ready and I'm at high energy. And I feel like I needed this. You know, sometimes when you, and let me explain this to you guys, and especially for people that have been in this with me as long as I've been with it. Whenever you hold on to something for so long, you also hold on to the experiences and everything that came with that thing that you're holding on to. So a lot of time, because you've gone through so much, right? Because I've gone through so much during this book, it's hard sometimes to dream or strive, or you always feel like something's holding you back. But when you start a brand new book, I want you to know it's brand new energy. You feel like it's a brand new canvas. The energy is different. You're finally letting go. Whew, that's it. You know, everything that I was holding on to, everything that I went through, the last 8 years. That's it. It's behind me now. It is what it is. I'm harvesting the good and I'm forgiving and letting go of the rest. And now I have this brand new energy. It feels like it feels like it's 2017 all over again. It feels like it's 2017 all over again for me, back when I started entrepreneurship. I'm over here like, yo, this feels so good. It just feels so good to be here. As much as, obviously, like I said, as much as we wanted things to be different, sometimes you can't control it. Sometimes God has different plans. And I know that due to my relationship with God recently and the way that He's been guiding me, I know that this is God guiding me in this direction. He kept me here longer because He needed me to learn specific lessons that I needed to learn before this chapter was over. And it's funny because yesterday I bought this book. It's called Slow Burn. The name of the book is called Slow Burn, and I started reading a little bit of it yesterday. And it was amazing because in the book, she says, she's an author, is the pastor of my church, Don Cherie. In the book, she talks about the waiting season, how our whole lives is all about waiting. And in the book, it says, we think that we're waiting for our goals and our things to be accomplished, but the whole goal of life is to wait. Our whole life is wait. But we are so, how do I say it? We have this expectation that we deserve things right away and that God should give us our blessings and our goals and our desires right away. But exactly, we're very impatient, but all of life is a wait. All of our whole lives is a wait. And we got to start understanding that in the wait, there's purpose. In the wait, there's lessons. In the wait, there's things that must be learned in order for you to become better. It's really all preparation. And for her, she wrote this book and she finished this book at the age of 40. And she gives this amazing perspective. She's like, yo, like, you need to understand, like, I waited 40 years to write this book because I needed the lessons that God was teaching me the last 40 years. She talks about the time that Moses spent in the desert and in the wilderness. They were 40 years each. All right. She really dives deep into the reason why 40 is such a beautiful number and the significance behind it. And some of us, we have set goals that we haven't hit. Real quick, put a 1 in the chat box if you set a goal that you haven't hit yet. Let me put a 1 in the chat box for you guys. While you guys are writing that, let me grab the book real quick for us really fast. So this is the book right here. I'm giving her some free promo, but she's I love her. She's awesome. It's called Slow Burn. It's actually going to be available on Amazon on Tuesday, tomorrow. I had early access and I got it signed and everything, which is pretty cool by her. I met her yesterday at church. But Slow Burn is the work and the wonder of the wait. And I want to read something to you guys really quick here because I thought it was powerful when I read it yesterday. And I was like, sheesh, I can't wait to read more of this because, man, let me tell you guys, it is amazing. She said this. She said the wait. She said this. She said the wait is not just a season. The wait is life. And then the question became, will you live while you wait? Maybe today you are in the middle, in between the major moments of your life. What are you waiting on? Do you question whether it's too late for God to do it? And do you wonder if there is something worthwhile that can happen until then or even now? And this is something that I want to make sure you guys understand. When I read this, it literally jumped off the page for me. And this is the thing that jumped out the page for me the most. The wait is not just a season, the wait is life. The question is, will you live while you wait? Think about that really quick. If the weight is life, if our whole life is a weight, are you going to live while you wait? Are you going to become the best version of yourself while you wait? Are you going to develop the skills while you wait? When I read that, I was like, am I living while I wait? Or am I just surviving? Because living is when you're doing what God called you to do here, which is become the best version of yourself, serve others, living your purpose. And this is something that really, really hit home for me. That's the question that I want all of you guys to be asking yourselves. You think that your weight, everybody put a 1 in the chat for if we've set goals that haven't been hit yet. And yes, we're waiting, and this could be a season for us. But remember, this is what she said. The wait is not just a season. The wait is life. So don't think that, because think about it. You're going to get, because here's what happens. And she says it in the book. She says, hey, when you wait for a prayer to be answered, you're waiting, boom. But then the prayer gets answered, and then there's a new prayer. And then the wait starts again. Our whole life is going to be determined by waiting. So the question is, are you living while you wait? And that's the question I want to have for all of you guys here today. Are you living while you wait? That's all it is. And some of you guys may be wondering, well, no, what do you mean? Am I living while I wait? Living means you are doing what you were called to do on this earth, which is become the best version of you and serve others and help others do the exact same thing. That's all it is. Are you growing to become the best version of yourself and helping others do the exact same thing while living your life? And that's what I'm doing every day. I love the wait. I've accepted the wait. I know that if I have not gotten to where it is that I want to go to yet, is because God is not done with me yet. I'm not prepared just yet. And the last couple of years have been all preparation for this exact moment that's happening right now. Everything has been preparation for this moment right now. And now that I understand things better than I ever have, I'm more ready than I've ever been. I honestly cannot even wait to see what God has for me on the other side. And that's the beauty of it. So those are the 3 ways that you can manage and understand when a chapter closes. Number 1, honor what was. Number 2, accept what is. And then number 3, prepare for what's next. I'm preparing for what's next. Endings are just beginnings in disguise. And that's what all it is. Endings are just beginnings in disguise. And you just got to remember that. Some chapters are meant to end. That's all it is. Nano, a book by you would be clutch. Don't worry, it's coming. I have the book chapter. I have it already. I just got to start writing it, to be real. I just got to start writing it, but I have the outline for my book already ready. And I'm going to be writing a book here soon. I need best-selling author as one of my titles. But everything happens in God's timing. And that's what it is, guys. So that is my 3-point training for all of you guys. Like I said again, if you're just hopping on and if you're just hearing this, I am no longer an educator with the platform that I was partnered with. I'm sending in my letter of resignation today, and I will no longer be a part of that platform. And I will be letting you guys know what is my next steps on 5/5/25, which is when we're going to be launching my next chapter. So on 5/5/25, I'll be launching my next chapter. In the meantime, should we cancel? Yes, Michael, yes. The moment you get a chance, just cancel it. And then whenever you're ready, brother, I want you to be one of the first in with me, Michael, because you've been a loyal one as well. So please, for those that have been rocking with me, you guys know where to find me. Hit me up on the side if you guys have any questions. I know that there is people that have questions as well. So if you do have any questions about the doors closing, please let me know. and I'll help you guys towards the next steps, and we'll guide you guys through all of this so that we can set this up. But like I said again, I love all of you guys. I pray that all of you guys understand and know that it comes from a place of faith, love, respect, integrity, and with God at the center. And it was not done from a place of fear or doubt or anything like that, or any insecurities or anything like that. I literally gave it my everything, and if you guys know my heart, and if you guys know my integrity and my work ethic, you know I gave it everything, and I would have never done anything unless I would have never made a move and closed a chapter unless I truly believed that there was no future for myself and for my family and for my team and for the people that I have around me. I have a huge responsibility, not only to myself, but like I said, to my team, to my family, and I got people counting on me. And at the end of the day, I can't continue to put my team in an environment where we no longer are going to win, because I have people on my team that have kids, that have families, that have bills, that have things that they got to take care of. So I got to make the best decisions for us. And as you guys choose me as a leader, I have to do what's best. So, like my sister Amber said in the chat, we ride at dawn. And I'm grateful to have a sister like Amber by my side, and a lot of the other amazing sisters and brothers that I have, because let me tell you, um, the support, the love that I've received from these individuals has been absolutely amazing. And I'm just grateful for it all. And I wanted to do this call here today so that you guys hear it directly from me and didn't hear from anybody else. Is it a little bit unfortunate? Yes. Did we expect something else? Yes. But sometimes we just have to accept the situations that God throws at us, and just we got to learn how to shift. And that's exactly what we did today. And that's exactly what we're doing. So, family, I love you guys. If you guys got value from today's call, put some 333s in the chat box. Again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Mornings with Nano now for at least the next couple of weeks will be live on YouTube and on Instagram 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I'll be doing these calls 5 days a week. So just know 5 days a week at 10 a.m. I will be live on YouTube and on Instagram 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. So just keep that in mind. We're back. Nothing has changed. Closed chapter. This is the only call that we'll talk about this. I just wanted to make sure that this call was talked about. We said everything. I have nothing but love, gratitude, respect, and everything towards the platform that I was a part of. But now it's time for a new chapter, and you guys will be seeing a post from me. You guys will be seeing things on my story, but at least you guys heard it from me directly. And I'm glad that I had this conversation with you guys. I just wanted to be open with all of you, and that way, you guys can trust and have respect for me, that you didn't just hear from an Instagram post or anything, or just in case anybody asks you guys any questions, you guys know what's up. All right, fam. So I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. Little quick prayer, and then we'll wrap it up right there. Quick prayer, and we're out of here. Father God, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to wake up on this beautiful Monday morning. Today we close a chapter, but I know that you have a new chapter to start with us, a new book, and I'm just so excited that you've led the way. I've completely let go and let you, God, take the wheel. And for anyone that's on this call that's also dealing with closing a chapter in their lives, I pray, God, that you put your healing hand over their hearts, and that you guide them and open it up for them so that they can see that everything that is happening in life right now is happening for us, and it's just not happening to us. And we're just so grateful for all the lessons, for all the skills, for all the love, for all the gratitude, for all the people, for all the things that you've done for us up until this very moment. We are so excited for this new chapter in our lives, and we know that this chapter is going to be filled with so much success, abundance, and so much things that we are not yet aware of, but we know that you're full of surprises, God, and we just love you so much for everything that you're doing for us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We pray that you continue to light the path for us and just continue to lead the way for us. We've let go, and we're letting you lead the way for us. So we love you so much. Let's have a week full of gratitude, love, productivity, and full of surprises, God. We love you and we appreciate you. In God's name we pray. Amen, amen, amen. So 10 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific, Mornings with Nano on YouTube and on Instagram, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. It'll start tomorrow. So you guys will be here. Some people will hop on, some won't, some will. You know, guys, I'm going to run the call regardless. All right. But I have a lot of great trainings for all of us. I'm going to be very intentional for the month of May. I'm working on a couple of things with Jasmine as well. And we're going to do some amazing things this weekend, guys. So I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your days. And we'll get everything rocking and going here in the next couple of days, guys. So just remember, what is the launch date? Who remembers the launch date? What's the launch date? What is the launch date? Who remembers? Don't forget it. There we go, Jay Miles. Even my boy, if Jay's on here, we lit, man. If my brother Jay Miles is on here, that's how I know things are good. 5/5/25. 5/5/25. And I'll see you guys on there so that you guys can know exactly what's going to be happening on that day. I expect miracles. I get miracles. Royalty, I do life with you, sis. I do life with you as well, my sis. Birthday on Cinco de Mayo. Oh, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Well, all right, guys. I love ya. I appreciate you guys. Let's have a great week. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. God bless. Thank you,